Before I tell you what I found, if you're into true horror, creepy mysteries, and stories that mess with your mind, you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe, give this video a like, and thank you for being here. Now, let me show you what was hiding in my phone. It started like any other Tuesday. I had my usual black coffee in the chipped mug I never replaced, took the same crowded train to the same office building, and sat through another day of data entries and small talk with colleagues I barely knew. The most exciting part of my day was getting off work early because our server crashed, which meant I got to go home and binge something mindless before bed. By 11:40 p.m. I was in my pajamas, lying in bed, scrolling through my phone like always. The glow of the screen painted my room in pale light. My fan buzzed softly, slicing the silence into manageable pieces. I wasn't sleepy yet, just drifting in that foggy borderland between boredom and fatigue. So I opened my camera roll, looking for an old meme I'd saved weeks ago to send to my friend Mia. That's when I saw it. A photo of me, sleeping. At first I laughed. It was jarring, sure, but I thought maybe I'd accidentally hit the shutter while napping, or maybe it was from a few months back when I was testing out my new phone's timer. That happens, right? But the timestamp read, today, 3:17 a.m. My laughter faded. I frowned, flicked to the next image. Another one. Same angle. Closer this time. 3:18 a.m. My mouth was slightly open. My hair spilled across the pillow like seaweed. I looked defenseless, vulnerable in a way that didn't feel natural. The photos weren't selfies. I wasn't holding the phone, and the worst part, the angle. It was taken from the edge of my bed, as if something had been standing right beside me. I sat up straight. The blanket felt too tight around my legs. I glanced at the door, locked, as always. My apartment had only one entrance, and I lived on the 7th floor. No fire escape, no balcony, just brick walls and old windows that screeched when opened. I checked my phone's info panel. The images weren't edited. No glitch, no data corruption. Taken with my phone's camera, exactly at the times listed. I told myself I'd taken them. Had to be. Sleepwalking, maybe. Or some odd dream experiment I'd forgotten. I deleted them quickly, like that would erase the crawling feeling on the back of my neck. I slept with the lights on that night. Over the next few days, I convinced myself I was fine. I reset all my passwords, even changed the lock on my door. Normal precautions. I kept my phone face down at night and avoided the camera roll like it had teeth. Then, on Friday, they were back. 10 new photos. They were wrong. Blurry at first, like the lens had trouble focusing, but as I swiped, the clarity sharpened. They were all of me, asleep in different positions, some taken from the foot of the bed, one from the hallway, another from just above my face, as if the photographer was looming over me, breathing inches from my skin. But the 5th photo, that one nearly made me drop the phone. There was a figure, shadow thin, standing by my closet. It didn't look like a person exactly, more like a hole in the room, shaped like one. Where its head should have been, there was only dark static, pixels breaking into red and green lines like a corrupted video. I couldn't breathe. I stared at the photo until the screen dimmed. That night I didn't sleep. Every sound felt amplified. Pipes in the walls groaned like low moans. My upstairs neighbor's footsteps turned into stalking thuds. I kept hearing a rustling sound from my closet, like fabric brushing against itself. I set up my own phone to record overnight. When I woke up and watched the footage, the bed was empty, then suddenly I was there, like I'd been dropped in. No transition, no movement. Just one frame I was gone, the next I was back. I checked the footage's timeline. 7 minutes missing. During those 7 minutes, another file had been created. Not a photo this time, a video. 12 seconds long. I hit play with shaking hands. The camera faced me in bed. The room was darker than it should have been. My chest rose and fell slowly until it didn't. At the 5-second mark, my body went still. My eyes opened. But they weren't my eyes. They were wide, all black with no whites at all. And they stared straight into the camera. I whispered something in a voice that didn't sound like mine. I let it in. Then static. I stopped going to work. I stopped answering calls. Mia came by, concerned, but I didn't open the door. I couldn't explain it. I didn't want her involved. The photos kept appearing. My phone began glitching, apps opening on their own, camera turning on randomly. I didn't dare touch the phone anymore, but it vibrated against the wooden nightstand, insistent, like a heartbeat. The screen flickered, casting jagged shadows across the room. I hadn't slept in 3 days, and my eyes burned, raw from staring at corners, waiting for that shadow-thin figure to step out of the dark. The air in my apartment felt thick, like it was pressing against my skin, and the rustling from the closet had grown louder, less like fabric, more like fingernails scraping bone. I tried to reason with myself. Hallucinations from exhaustion, maybe. A prank, though no one I knew had the skill or cruelty for something this elaborate. But the video, those black eyes, my lips moving without my will, whispering, I let it in. That wasn't a prank. That was a violation. A crack in reality I couldn't seal shut. I unplugged everything, TV, lamps, even the fridge, to kill any chance of electrical interference. I taped over my phone's camera lens, shoved it in a drawer and locked it. But at 2:47 a.m., the drawer rattled. Not a buzz, a slow, deliberate knock. Like something inside was asking to be let out. I didn't open it. I couldn't. Instead, I sat on the couch, clutching a kitchen knife, staring at the drawer until dawn bled through the curtains. When I finally worked up the nerve to check, the phone was on, the tape over the camera gone. A new photo waited. Me, sitting on the couch, knife in hand, staring at the drawer. Timestamp, 2:47 a.m. I threw the phone across the room. It hit the wall, screen cracking, but it didn't stop. The speaker hissed, then played my voice. I let it in, over and over, louder each time, until it wasn't my voice anymore, but something deeper, layered, like a chorus of whispers speaking as one. I smashed the phone with a hammer. Shards of glass and metal scattered across the floor, but the whispering didn't stop. It came from the walls now, from the ceiling, from the closet. My hand shook as I swept the pieces into a trash bag and tied it tight, as if that could contain it. I dumped it in the building's incinerator chute, watching the bag disappear into the dark. For a moment, I thought it was over. The apartment was quiet. The air felt lighter. I laughed, a brittle sound, and sank to the floor, tears streaming down my face. I was free. Then my laptop pinged, a notification, a cloud backup. New media uploaded. I didn't want to look, but my hands moved anyway, like they weren't mine. The screen glowed, and there it was, a photo of me standing over the incinerator chute, trash bag in hand. Timestamp, 5 minutes ago. In the background, just beyond my shoulder, was the figure. Closer now. Its static-filled head tilted like it was studying me. I slammed the laptop shut, but the whispering started again, louder inside my skull. I let it in. Not a statement anymore, a command. My chest tightened and my vision blurred, like the room was dissolving into static. I stumbled to the bathroom, splashed water on my face, and looked in the mirror. My reflection blinked when I didn't. I froze. My reflection smiled, a slow stretch of lips that wasn't mine. Its eyes darkened, pupils swelling until they swallowed the whites. It raised a hand, pressed it against the glass, and the mirror cracked, a spiderweb fracture spreading from its palm. I ran to the door, fumbled with the new lock, but it wouldn't turn. The air grew heavy, like I was breathing molasses. The rustling from the closet was deafening now, a storm of claws and whispers. I turned, and there it was, the figure, standing in the hallway. Not a shadow anymore. It was solid, its form flickering like a bad signal. Its head a writhing mass of static that pulsed with red and green veins. "You let me in," it said, in my voice, in 100 voices, in no voice at all. I don't remember what happened next. I woke up in my bed, the apartment silent, the air cold. My phone was back on the nightstand, whole, uncracked. The laptop sat open, screen dark. The closet door was ajar, but nothing was inside. Just my clothes hanging still. I checked my phone. No photos, no videos. The cloud was empty. Relief flooded me, but it was wrong, hollow. My hands felt different, heavier. My reflection in the mirror was mine again, but when I moved, it lagged, just a fraction of a second behind. I don't leave the apartment anymore. I can't. Every night I hear my voice from the closet, whispering, "I let it in." And every morning, I wake up a little less myself, my thoughts fuzzing at the edges, my memories fraying like old tape. I don't know what's coming, but I feel it. Watching, waiting, growing inside the space I used to call me. The worst part? I don't know if I'm the one locking the door to keep it out, or to keep it in.